Hey everyone. How's it going? My name is Daniel, and I'm making a game called The Waking Cloak, and it's very exciting. So, let's jump straight into it. This is the game. It's gonna freak out for a second here. There we go. This is the game, and it is cool because you can walk around, and you can't walk around in many other games. But seriously, it's loud. We've been working on the dialogue. It's cool. Got some animation thanks to the plugin I'm using. And that's what we did last week. Yesterday I implemented a sort of a skip function so you could do that really quick. The only problem is if you keep pressing the skip, it doesn't actually go to the next thing. So we'll work on that. But another thing I did while I was last weekend was depending on where you are on the screen, the dialog box will actually move. Yay. Oh. Puppy's on my lap, but she wants down. Here you go, Kiwi. Yeah, so this breaking point is about here, yeah. So that's pleasing. It wasn't actually that hard either. Another problem is actually completely unrelated, but I can't move right now. That's due to player states moving around and stuff. Okay, so basically to add the skip, what I did is I went and checked if the B button is pressed, and if so, just set the cutoff, which is the point where the text will draw up to. I put that all the way to the end of the message so that it'll just draw all the way to the end of the message, which is cool. And the problem is I would also like to be able to press the B button again, but so you press it, but when I had it like this, it would just flip through all of the messages. It would just skip the message entirely. So just actually show you what it looks like. So what happens now with a skip is it just jumps to the next message, which we do not want. And the reason is because this key pressed, same as this key pressed, so what it does is it sets it to the end, and then what it does is it will just straight up say, oh yeah, the message current is all that stuff, and it'll mess up. I know that was the best explanation, and you understand everything now, but here's what I'm going to do. Is, hey man, how's it going? Yes. I'm going to say is skip released equals false. Else is skip released equals true. So we say A or B, but B also has to be with the caveat that is skip released is true. Nope, that does not do anything. I would have thought this worked. I'm a little surprised it doesn't, because escape released is always being set to true if the B button isn't being pressed. Cat staring at my laptop screen very hard. Apparently my cat likes game. You have the best cat. You should keep that cat. Let's do this. If keyboard check released. Your cat likes game development. Mine is currently throwing up. Suki. Kiwi, leave her alone. Kiwi, hey. Suki, are you okay? This is not what I want anyway. Oh, I know why. Because if you're pressing B, it's always going to be that same frame. So what it does is it sets it to false whenever you press it. By the time it gets down here, it's already pressed. So that actually makes sense. So what I want to do instead, how do I want to do this? I think I want to do it after. Never seen or watched anything for so long. It's kind of spooky. Also, I can hear it's a sound I'm familiar with, followed by stepping in the hairball while I search for barefoot. Yes! Yes! Hey, Brian. Yeah, so, like, it's super annoying because I have this supernatural ability to step in all of, like barefoot. Step in cat puke, dog poop, dog pee, cat pee. Well, cats don't really pee outside. Anything gross that exists in our house, I will step on it barefoot. I will find it with my feet. Often in the morning when I'm waking up. Such is life. How's it going, Brian? Sorry about the tirade. Camera got all messed up. Okay, so I have to figure out how to do this. This does not work. I do want that. I just want it to be I don't want this to work. So if B is pressed, set this cut off to the end. Yeah, let's do this. It's been a rough week. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope everything's okay with you guys. Hope you're able to get through it, and whatever's going wrong gets all better. Let's do this. Oh, you asked how I was doing. I'm doing actually pretty good. Currently, I'm trying to think and type, or talk and type at the same time. But I will answer your question momentarily. Tired of so much checking. There we go. Oh, I didn't watch the Nintendo Direct. The Direct, wondering what E3 will be like, had a lot of flashes of what's to come, so wonder if E3 will be able to a few quality games as opposed to quantity. I need to watch the Direct. How many times do we do this check? I'm doing good. I went to, my wife had a coaching tournament thingy-mabob in Orlando, which is really far away for us. And we went to, so she had to be assistant coach for the afternoon for a couple days, and then in the mornings we went to Universal Studios, which most of Universal Studios to me was kind of boring, but we spent most of our time actually in Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade, which I posted on Twitter a little bit, like a couple of the pictures. Oh my gosh, that was so cool. It was one of the coolest things we've ever done. It felt like you were there, and I was really, really impressed. So that was definitely a highlight. And now I'm back to, the normal daily grind of work and stuff. But it's going well, overall. Looking forward to my wife wrapping up the coaching season so that I actually get to see her. And it means I won't probably stream as much, but I like my wife more than I like streaming, so. There you go. It's probably good. Oh yeah, so Nintendo. After Nintendo Direct, wondering what E3 will be like. Had a lot of flashes of what's to come, so wonder if E3 will be about a few quality games as opposed to quantity. Yeah, I need to watch I think I already answered this, didn't I? I just can't multitask. Yeah, I'm really curious about what Nintendo's going to do at E3, but I really need to watch the Direct before I can answer that question, or speculate. Okay, so the problem here is that the sequence of these events is kind of weird. So if we press it and the cutoff is less than the message length, then we'll go ahead and set it to the message length and false. Okay, so now if we do else, if, keyboard check pressed input buttons item B, well, I'll make it easy. Do you think Switch would be better off if they announced 15 various new games, maybe one new Nintendo main series franchise, or 3 or 4 main series Nintendo titles sequels? I think 3 to 4. 3 to 4 main Nintendo things would be my preference, because Nintendo's biggest strength, I think, is in its first-party games. Actually, let's do this. So I think that that would be a really healthy thing for them to do, because they already have a lot of like indie games and stuff announced, which is awesome. I'm totally for that. I think that they need to start announcing their like 3 or 4 main titles. Here we go. Is skip released equals true? All right. Let's try that. Hopefully I didn't break everything. It's always a concern. I can skip, but I can't keep skipping. So the question is why? That's because I have double the check here. Forgot to remove it. Let's try that. What's your opinion on what Nintendo should do? Oh, that's good. So, if you want to skip through the dialogue real fast, you just press B a bunch. If you hold it, it doesn't like freak out and just skip through everything, which is good. Or, if you press A, it'll wait before you print it all out. To my assertion, they need to put out a main series Animal Crossing. That franchise came back with a blaze after New Leaf. I presume Pokemon on Switch will be a big E3 crowd pleaser. I think Pokemon, if they announce Pokemon on Switch, there will never be any Switches ever in stock, because Pokemon is huge. And, like, nothing against Animal Crossing. I think that would be a good idea too, because of the reasons you said. But I think Pokemon would be like, that would be huge. Might have some usability issues here, because if you hit it like right as the oh ho 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 finishes writing out, it will actually, you won't be able to tell what it just did, which is not the best. I'm trying to think of how I would actually want to like handle that, because so, what I actually probably want to do, how do I want to do this? I'll leave it for now, and I'll make a note. we'll work on that later. The other thing is that initializer object. So this is just our test thing. So next problem is this all works and it's very happy. The only problem is that when you have a longer message, it will actually draw off of the dialog box, and it looks terrible. Show you what this looks like. So this is a problem. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. Try this again, because OBS decided to be a butt. There we go. So that's a problem. Because that looks terrible, you can't read it, and so on. So my idea, and I still haven't thought this totally through, what's new? So I think my idea is I want to create a way to break up a something like this into multiple lines based on the max character width, because all of our characters are monospaced, which is very useful. So the thing is, it would see how many, it would use the same process as the dialog box to check, okay, this is how many words I can actually fit. Take the rest of it, plop it into the next, or insert it into the next. So this would become test dialog 1, and then everything else would be bumped down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then if the next one was too long, i.e. the one that we just inserted, it would do it again. And so by the end, it would actually have created maybe a 7 or an 8 array thing. My honest guess is for Switch E3. Pokemon, Pikmin, Smashport, Mario Party, possibly Donkey Kong. They all feel like safe bets and good entries for 2017, with Metroid and Animal Crossing as 2018 kind of games. I think that's... I agree. I think that a Pikmin 4 would for me be unexpected. But I haven't watched the direct. Donkey Kong would be cool, especially if it was a 3D Donkey Kong, but I would expect maybe a third Donkey Kong Country Returns game. Pokemon would just kill it. They would be awesome. I'm a slob. I just found a granola piece on my shirt, and it's been there for this entire stream. So yeah, I'm gross. Right, so my idea for this is in the display dialog. Because display dialog is a script. So what I'm thinking is that in, first of all, what is this sent? Argument 0. Sent. We don't have a portrait. Let's get rid of that. Change this to dialog box. There we go. So what we want to do here is change sent to be text array. So that's actually makes more sense. My dog is making weird noises and it's cute. Okay, so what I want to do here is, what is it, DS array? DS list? DS list. Okay, DS list, create text array equals DS list create. Can we create it from an array? That's what I want to know. Oh, it just creates it. So what we want to do then is we want to say DS list add. So text DS list add text array. I'm going to need to do a loop here. For var I equals 0, I is less than array length 1D text array. The direct is kind of what I'm making my guess on based on what was and wasn't there, but it's already been confirmed Pikmin 4 is in the works, so it's definitely on the way. Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool. I played Pikmin, the only Pikmin I played was part of Pikmin 3. And then I think another game came, probably Smash Bros. And I stopped playing Pikmin. Maybe Mario Kart instead of Smash Bros. Okay, so, excuse me, text array I. So we have this DS list add text array I that'll go through and add all of these different lines to the DS list. And this is a little weird. So let's say DS list, is there a length? Size. I believe that's what I want. Text. Hold up. This is bad. Text list. Text list. Text list. Cut that. Place that here. There we go. So we loop through the array. Then we'll do some stuff in here to do some inserts and stuff. It's good, or good vocabulary right there. And then we check the size of the list, not the array. And then we'll loop through the list and set that to the message, since the list will be the updated version. So I don't think you need to do, oh, you do. You need to do this to access the index. I think there's another way to do it, but that's the quick way. Yeah. Apart from these specific functions, you can call an expression called an accessor to add or modify the contents of your DS list. The accessor looks similar to a 1D array with the following syntax. Okay, yes, that is exactly what I wanted to do. It's a little confusing because I'm not used to that syntax, but that's okay. Okay, so next what we want to do is we want to look at the, nope, not the tile map. Why is that open? The dialog object, which is way down here. And what this does, So you don't want to take this whole thing. But if we check if the current word fits inside the text box, if not, go to the next line is kind of what we want. So I'm just going to copy this whole thing and then delete the parts I don't want. Display dialog. Why is it over there? That's weird. Okay. Okay, that whole thing. We don't need to do this. Well, modifier equals real string char at current plus I. So we're going to add +2 to I. So that's what I think that's all I'm going to do for this. I'm going to sneeze. Plus equals 2. So that'll skip over the modifier because the modifier doesn't count as a doesn't count. This won't work and this won't work, but we'll get there. Go to the next line, check if the current word fits inside the text box, and if not, go to the next line. So current word fits inside the text box, and if not, go to the next line. So length is 0. Well, string char at message current. This is going to have to take some work, but that's okay. I think this might end up being way overkill because so length animals? What are you doing? They're all like circled around something. Oh, I guess it's a bug. That was funny. It's probably like 75 degrees in the house, which is really warm lately because it just finished being winter and it's really stuffy. I should have turned the air on. But I'm just going to die. If space plus length is characters per line, got distracted by something in my mind. Which is really easy to do. My cat's chilling. Little does she know, when I go to sleep, I'm kicking her butt out. We have to do that for our cats too, because at least one of our cats is like desperate to be with us at all times, and it's really adorable. But we have to kick her out at night because, you know, cats in the middle of the night are kind of, they do stuff. And we actually had install. We had to put this little thing outside our door called a scat, which is basically just like a motion sensor on a compressed air can. Because she likes to paw at the door all night long because she needs in. So that she can play with the dog or sleep with us annoyingly or whatever. So this cat will do a little puff of air and scare her away. It's a really good investment. It's kind of expensive, but for just a sensor and air compressor, but worth it so we can sleep. Okay, so the problem here is that actually I think this is okay because we're just going through characters per line. That's what we want here. So instead of doing a ++ line, what we'll do is we need to take the rest of the string I need that my cat cries and scratches at my door too, woke me up at 4 a.m. Oh my gosh, okay, here. I'll link it to you in the thing. Let's see if I can find it. It's kind of expensive. It's like $30 for this little thing, but totally worth it. We just turn it on at night. And it's got like really bad ratings for some reason, but it's good. 1 second. All right, here we go. There's your link. That's going to show up on Twitch too, I guess, which is kind of weird, but yeah, Twitch, you just get a link to this thing because Twitch can't see YouTube comments and vice versa. But when I post it, posts both. Oh my gosh, Cat is like freaking out. Kiwi, don't bark at Momo. Momo's not doing anything. Okay, so we don't need to draw text. Let's get rid of that. I++. Word length is what I want to call it because that's actually more sensical. Just may see the value. Oh yeah, it's good. $30 worth it for like, especially if your cat does it like every night. It's worth $30 to sleep. And people say that it doesn't last very long, which hasn't been my experience because we don't leave it on all the time, and we only turn it on at night. But you can get refill canisters if you need to. They're kind of expensive too. All right, let's do this. Let's add that. So then what we do is we'll say message length equals string length. How did I do this? Is it length string length array I Poor my cat slumbering next to me, not knowing I'm hatching a plan as a silencer. Trying to think if this is actually how I want to do it, because I'm trying to think through the logic of this, because if we go ahead and add this, we'd also have to add for each new like full line that's generated. This ended up being more complicated than I expected, of course. So my initial idea with using the DS list was that I could actually insert stuff, which I think I want to do. So let's back up. So this will add to the list. Now, oh, undo that. Nope, let's redo that. Okay, we'll just loop through it again, because why not? Where I equals 0, I is less than DS list size text list. Yes. Let's do text array. If DS text list pipeline I string length text list I is greater than characters per line, should say is less than or equal to characters per line break, or I should say continue. Continue, I believe, will jump to the next. If it's in a loop, it'll jump to the beginning of the loop as if the loop had run through and looped back. Okay, yeah, that's what I want. So if the string length is, it's the same song. If the string length of that specific item in the array is less than or equal to the max characters allowed per line, continue. Otherwise, we'll do all this other crap. We'll break it up. It does not like something. DS list destroy text list. That's so that we can release the memory. Not that there's a lot of, not that that's taking up a lot of memory, but clear memory. We don't need lists anymore, so we might as well not keep creating lists and memory leak. Memory leaks are bad. So the problem is the way that I'm thinking about it doing it now is it'll only break it up once and it'll insert that new line. No, it won't, because it'll actually, once it inserts it, it will check, it will actually, I will increment to the next line, which we just inserted, and it will check that line too. So it'll keep doing it. Okay, excellent. This is what I wanted. So, text list I, pipeline I. So if message length is less than or equal to characters per line, continue. We don't have a problem. Oh. I have to actually increment. Yay! So after the message, if it is greater than the characters per line, then what we'll do is we'll doctor it up. We'll say while let's make this a different counter. Thanks, guy on Twitter. Char. There we go. What is going on? My phone is doing stuff. Right, so, excuse me. I might be losing my voice. All right, we're getting there. So, skip over modifier. This is actually not what I want either. Max. Because characters per line is a different thing from characters per dialog box. So let's back up and make sure the logic is good. For I equals 0, I is less than the size of the text list, which is the DS list, increment after each loop. So the message length equals the length of the message at the current selected index. So if the currently selected message, say message 0, is less than or equal to max characters, continue. So this will become 1. If the message at length at 1, at index 1, is greater than the max characters, we do not continue. We actually go down here and doctor it up. So we set the char to 0, character to 0. While character is less than the length of this message, and it's less than max characters, I don't want that, because that'll actually stop when it gets to max characters, and we don't want it to stop. We want it to keep going, so that we actually no, let's keep it for now. I don't think we will end up needing it. So what we're going to do is we're going to now, instead of looping through the list of messages, we're going to loop through a specific message, character by character. So if the character at the current message, which is going to be this, there we go. So if the character at that, so as we're going through the characters, if we find a modifier character, skip over it. Which +2, 1 for the slash. The double slash is actually because of the escape character. So this is actually just escaping the, yeah, you know what that. So this actually ends up being a string of just 1 slash, plus whatever number of the modifier comes after it. I was just wondering if somebody comes along and, like, when you name your character, adds like a /4 in it, what that'll look like in messages, if that will work or not. Like, hello, Link. Something smells. Hopefully Pat didn't do something. They've been doing crazy stuff today. All right, so we're going to loop through the message character by character, and then word by word. So this is a triple nested loop, which is my favorite. Will any NPCs break the fourth wall for a joke? I think maybe, but it'll be very. Any fourth wall breaking will be subtle, if I do. It's just going to be one of those things like. If I'm writing it and it pops up when I'm writing it and I like it, then it's going to stick in. But as it's currently written, no. But as it's currently written is a rough draft, so anything can happen. And I definitely haven't written all the NPCs. The answer is it can happen if it strikes me, but probably not, actually. I'm hoping to have funny stuff though, like funny jokes and so forth. Just depends. All right, so character by character, string character. We're actually going through character by character and I'm gonna figure out how to do space. Oh, cool! It's up here now. Will they reference other franchises? No. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't know that you can kind of like joke and hint at stuff and do homages and Easter eggs. So maybe. Your cat's licking your bed again. That's adorable. You know, I might have to actually reference Zelda a couple times in there. Maybe I'll add an Easter egg for like every franchise that inspired me. So Zelda, Riven, Dragon Quest Monsters, Dragon Warrior Monsters, a couple others. The mention of a little green clad fellow running through. That might be a little too obvious, but I think I might do. I'll probably have to do something to Zelda, because Zelda, I owe a lot to Zelda. So cutoff is less than message length, timer is greater than length. Okay, I want to know how we're handling space actually, which is a terrible name because I don't know what it means. Spacing equals 0. Oh, okay. Space plus plus and I plus plus. Gotcha. So let's go back down here. Total space 0. You know, there's probably an easier way to do this, and then that would be just to jump to the index where jump to the max character index. But I don't want to deal with spaces and crap, so. Way to think of an idea. It's a weird one, but only tell if you want me to. Don't want to turn your trip. No, yeah, tell me, and I'll just say no if I don't like it. I minus equals length. What is all this junk? String. Windows didn't like that. How do I cut, paste? Copy? String copy? Why doesn't it like that? I'm just clicking links. Needs to select a number of characters from a string to be copied to another one. Okay, I don't totally understand what this is all doing because I'm feeling kind of not totally here. Okay, so space plus plus I plus plus. Space is just a terrible name for that because it doesn't mean anything. I know I've said that before, but okay. Well, is there any section of the game where you get maybe separated from the cloak? I had the weird idea of a guy who constantly tries to replace your cloak with an old blanket. I don't think there's any section where you get separated from your cloak, but that's a hilarious idea. At least the guy trying to replace it with a blanket. And I actually like that. But I'll let you finish. Or if you lose your cloak, you think he has it, and you can buy it from him, but it turns out to be an old blanket. Or just some old dude who wears an old blanket pretending to be you. That's hilarious. I'm actually going to write that down because I want that. Where is my notes? I have so many notes. Here we go. Let me copy this whole thing. I don't know how that references Legend of Zelda, other than like a evil tingle type thing. That's a hilarious idea. Alright, I'm gonna... That's great. That's gonna have to make it in the game if I can fit it in there. Characters equals 0 over characters, blah, blah, character, max characters. Okay. So how do we insert it at the next line, actually? Oh, what we're doing is we're just grabbing that. Okay, gotcha. So instead of doing line plus plus, what we want to do is I don't know why we do this. So instead of line plus plus, we'll do ds list insert text list I plus 1 string copy text list I. Yay, it's not Zelda really. I had the idea of an NPC saying, didn't that cloak used to be a different color? Because I believe it was gray and white. And from that I had the idea for the blanket man. It's a good idea. String index equals crap. Total space will always increment. The character will not. That's what we want. Total space count is going to be, oh crap. Message length minus total space. So if message length is 60, total space is 40, we're going to length to be 20, I guess. Oh man, this is going to break, isn't it? It's going to break all over the place. Okay, how do I delete from a string? Recently become obsessed with the Gorons, so I've been really into working fat little monster people into whatever I'm drawing. I'd be interested to see that. String replace, no. String delete, specific parts of a string. So string returns a string, so I want text list pipeline I equals string delete text list pipeline I starting at index total space message length minus total space. So that'll do, or it should do, famous last words, are insert the portion that's too big for the rest of the message into the next DSList array thingy. And then it'll take the current one and it'll chop off that part that we just deleted. I think that'll work. And after that, we want to probably break out of the while loop. Is that how that works? Senior moment. Before this, have you made any games? I have not. And the reason I hesitated is because I made a game when I was 12. I know that's a completely different age. It was 12 or 13 or 14, one of those ages. And I actually streamed it a while ago because one of the watchers of the stream sent it to me. Here, I have the YouTube video of where I streamed it. I'll paste the link in here because it's hilarious. It's so bad. Because I thought it was so cool. But no, this is my first legit I'm an adult now, and I can actually make games. This is my first one. And I know they tell you not to do a giant project on your first go around, and I'm kind of breaking that rule because I'm stupid. But hopefully it works out. It's a hobby. It's not like it's my job. So I can afford to mess up. So if this game doesn't make it, it won't be because I am relying on it. Oh yeah, so you've seen it. I'll paste it maybe. Anyway, yeah, it sucks and it's hilarious that I made that game. I'll paste it there for anybody else to watch. Yeah, so I haven't actually made any games before this. I've done mods. I used to mod a game called Battle for Westnoth, which is like a little sprite tactical Fire Emblem game sort of dealio. It's really cool. So I have some experience. I have some experience with software development because I'm a software developer, my day job, and I have been a writer for almost 2 decades now, which is crazy. So hopefully I can put that together and cobble together a skill. I was pretty sure I made one before, not to this scale. I was wondering if the game would have an Easter egg to that game. Probably not. I might reference Vryn somehow, but that's neither here nor there. Break is not good. Break is not what I want. For while, I want while. So I'm learning a lot, because a lot of this is new to me, and I'm learning. Oh man, I'm learning so much stuff. That said, I am pretty familiar with Game Maker because I toyed around with it a lot as a kid. I played it quite a bit, or played it, I guess, whatever. You can end any loop prematurely if you call the break action. Yes. Okay. Finally. Thank you. That is not the while loop that I want, but that's okay. Okay, so this should break out of this while loop and just not keep going. So it'll break out of the while loop, then it'll jump back to this for loop. Let's just see if this, oh, max characters is not implemented, so this is gonna break. Yes. Sure. Equals, somewhere in here, I say that there's a max per line. Characters per line. Yep, 19. Okay, so this can be characters per line equals 19 equals characters per line times 3, because we can have 3 lines. Yeah, we don't need a new variable every single time. Alright, so then down here we can access that by saying, since we created the dialog box already, you can say dialog box.max characters. This is so complicated. We probably have an infinite loop. Yeah. It is stuck. Oops. this should be fine. If I take this off, will this actually fix it? Nope. So what is the issue here? Is DS list size not what I thought it was? The number of items that have been added to it. That's good. Let's do this. String, no, debug, show debug message, string I. Let's see how many we get in. It might only be one, but that's okay. If it is, then we know that the infinite loop is elsewhere. Yeah, so we're not getting past the first loop, which is good, because it shouldn't do that. String char. Let's try that. I need to be total space. Well, I think you're doing well, and obviously I'm interested in seeing this game come together. Oh, thanks. I'm excited, and I think that the fact that this is just sort of like a hobby means I don't have to like kill myself to make a awesome game. I can just like work at it at my leisure and just make it how I want to make it. Kind of like how the guy who made Stardew Valley did it. He made it all by himself. He just took all the time he needed and he made it into what he wanted it to be. I'm not saying this will be the next Stardew Valley, I'm just saying he's cool. What's your opinion on games like Inside with a core message? Okay, I haven't played Inside. Let me remind myself what that game is. Okay. Yeah, I haven't played Inside, and it's on my list to play, so don't spoil anything. A core message is actually really important to me, but it's also important to me not to just preach at people, because that's terrible. I think that having a sort of a theme in mind as you're writing and creating a game, in both the writing and in the gameplay, and kind of how that fuses together, it is really important to have an idea of kind of what your theme is. Theme is a good word, because and I know what the theme of this game is, and I don't think I'm going to talk about it yet, because it's it's still a rough draft, and I kind of want that to be a part of the experience of what the theme is. I'm never going to outright say what the theme is, in the game anyway. But there is a definite message, and it has a lot to do with sort of my headspace, where I was at when I'm writing this, and where I was at with, where my wife is at, So, and she's fine. She's not like dying or anything. But just like some of the stuff that kind of we're going through, and we were going through when I was writing it, is definitely going to be in there in the theme. I don't know if it'll be very obvious. But anyway, long story short, in all my vagueness, I do think that it is good for games to have theme, and not all games need them. Like a core message. Like arcade games don't need core messages. I don't think first-person shooters, for the most part, need core messages. But for example, like Breath of the Wild, since I just played it, the core message of that is, it's more. It's not as solid, but it has a lot to do with renewal, with exploration, kind of a game finding itself again. And you can see that in a lot of the developers as a lot of their interviews and stuff, where they talk about how kind of they had to throw everything out and just rethink all of these conventions. And it kind of makes its way into the game's story too, in that Hyrule is destroyed, and kind of out of the ashes, pulling the very essence of what Hyrule is, rebuilding, hope, and one of the core messages of Zelda is always courage. So, and maybe that's not as, I haven't played Inside, so I don't know how that compares. But I think something at that level is at least what makes a game important to me. So I'm going to have that. Okay, so let's print out character and word length after we do stuff. See if we're getting stuck in the... Nope, we are not. Oh wait, no. With Breath of the Wild, I felt not only does the game find itself again, but as a player was encouraged to search to my core and rise out anew. Yeah, and I think that's... I think that's what the developer was trying to say. Or... they communicated their... themselves to the player through the gameplay and through the story, and that's why you felt that way. You kind of search for your core, whether that's as a gamer or something else, and rising anew. That's why I like Zelda so much, is because it's about, especially Link, is about courage and facing up against impossible odds. Oh, it's this guy right here. See, I just needed to talk about deep stuff like Zelda for a while, and I knew I'd figure it out. Alright, so here's the problem. We're not... let's do this too. Equals text list pipeline I. Because that's hard to read. There we go. Now I can read it a little easier. So here's the problem, is that I think this is current message I is not space. What I don't understand is wow. Oh wait. Yeah, I messed up this loop, I think. It should be this. Oh, that's not gonna work either. Ooh. I'm not sure if that's what I want. I might need to actually do another okay, so I is char the entire time. That's just what I called it. There is no I, because I is something else. Oh, that's correct. That's correct. That's correct. Because that's all the index of the list itself. Right. See if it actually gets there. Oops. Oh my gosh. Stop. Everything's falling apart. Oh my gosh. All right, task manager, save me. There we go. Yeah, okay, so that's interesting. It's actually making it there every time. It's actually getting past this, which I didn't expect. So, let me close that. Open it again because the shift, it's acting like the shift key is being held down. Kiwi, hush. Kiwi, no. There's no reason to growl. Children. Alright. Let's grab this guy, stick him down here. And I think this will be the last thing I check. And I'm gonna head off. Alright. That's really interesting. That's moving all the way up to 56. Is it every time it's moving up to 56? Because 19 times 3 is 57. So, yep, that's why. Because it's 0 based, so 0 to 56. Except we're not starting at 0 for some reason. So what happens is it gets up to the character and then it bumps it back down. I don't think it's ever getting into here. Good night. Thanks for showing up. Thanks everybody who watched. I hope that you guys have a great night and a great rest of the week. I should be back on Monday. Probably. Schedule's always iffy these days, but just watch on Twitter and I'll post whether or not I'm going to stream. I hope to see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.